Hey, I've heard about this thing called a credit freeze, but I'm not sure what it really is. Like, is it some way to stop people from messing with my money stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question to start with. A credit freeze is basically like putting a lock on your credit report. Your credit report is this file that shows your borrowing history, like loans or credit cards you've had. When you freeze it, you're telling the big credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, not to share that info with anyone who asks, unless you say it's okay. It's free to do, and you can set it up online or by phone. Think of it like locking your bike outside a store. No one can just ride off with it without your key.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. But why would I even need to lock it up? Doesn't that just make things harder for me? Like if I want to get a new phone plan or something? It sounds kind of unnecessary, you know?
I get why it might feel that way at first. It's like adding an extra step to your day. But let's break it down. The freeze blocks lenders from pulling your credit report, which means they can't approve new accounts in your name without your permission. For example, if someone steals your info, they couldn't open a fake credit card pretending to be you. It's not restricting you forever. It's more like a security gate you control. Remember that time my cousin forgot to lock his garage and someone swiped his tools? He wished he'd added that simple padlock. Same idea here. It's a proactive step, not a hassle, unless you ignore it.
So it's mainly about stopping new stuff from happening without me knowing. But does it affect my existing cards or bills? Like, can I still use what I already have?
Exactly. Good catch. Freezing only stops new credit checks for opening accounts. Your current cards, loans, or payments keep working just fine. It's available at those 3 major bureaus I mentioned, and you have to freeze with each one separately for full protection. It's been around since laws made it free after big data breaches showed how easy identity theft can be. Does that clear up if it feels too restrictive?
Yeah, a bit. I guess it's not as limiting as I thought. But like, in what situations would someone actually decide to do this? It still seems a little extreme to lock everything down.
Fair point. It's not for every day, but let's think about real scenarios. Say you've been in a data breach, like when a company's info gets hacked, or if you're worried about fraud. People choose it for peace of mind, especially if they're not planning big purchases soon. It's empowering because you hold the key, a PIN they give you. Pros are strong security without costing a dime. But yeah, it might slow you down if you forget to thaw it. Ever had a friend who hides their valuables so well they can't find them? That's the con side. But overall, it's a smart tool. What makes you think it's extreme?
I don't know. Just feels like overkill if nothing bad has happened yet. But okay, if it blocks new accounts, how does that really keep the bad guys out? Like, what if they try anyway?
That's a sharp angle. Let's dig into how it actually works against thieves. When your credit's frozen, any attempt to open a new account gets denied because the lender can't access your report without your PIN. It stops them cold, even if they have your social security number or address. It's like a force field around your financial identity. But you're right, it doesn't touch old accounts. So monitoring those is still key. Imagine a burglar with your house key, but the alarm's on. They can't get in without tripping it.
All right, that analogy helps. So it's preventive, not a fix for everything. But what if I need to apply for something later? Does freezing mean I'm stuck?
Not at all. You can unfreeze anytime. But let's not jump ahead. First, tell me, does this make the whole idea less unnecessary now?
Yeah, I see it better. It's like insurance you turn on. But seriously, why go through the trouble of locking it in the first place if risks are low?
I totally get that hesitation. Why bother with something that feels like extra work when everything's fine, right? But let's talk about why people do it anyway. Freezing your credit is all about protecting your personal info from getting misused, especially in a world where data breaches happen way more often than we'd like. Think about those huge hacks at companies like Equifax or Target, where millions of people's social security numbers and addresses got stolen. Without a freeze, a thief could use that info to open new credit lines in your name, racking up debt you didn't even know about. It's like leaving your front door unlocked in a sketchy neighborhood. Sure, nothing might happen today, but why risk it when locking up is free and easy?
Data breaches? Like, how often does that really happen to regular people? It sounds scary, but is it common enough to worry about?
Oh, it's more common than you might think. Last year alone, there were over 1,000 big breaches reported in the U.S., affecting hundreds of millions of accounts. Even if you're careful, your info could be floating around from a store you shopped at or an app you used. Freezing stops unauthorized credit use dead in its tracks by making sure no one can pull your report to approve new stuff. It enhances your overall security without messing with your daily life. Remember my buddy who had his identity stolen after a gym membership hack? He spent months fixing the mess. Fake loans, ruined credit score. A freeze could have saved him all that headache. It's not about living in fear. It's about smart prevention.
Wow, months? That sucks. So it prevents fraud from those breaches by basically hiding my credit history?
Exactly. When it's frozen, even if a bad guy has your details, they can't get lenders to see your report, so no new accounts get opened. It's a layer of protection that works alongside things like strong passwords or monitoring your statements. And get this, it's not just for after a breach. Some folks freeze proactively, like if they're traveling abroad or just want that extra peace of mind. The hassle is minimal compared to the fallout from fraud, which could tank your ability to get a car loan or apartment later. Ever locked your phone screen? Same vibe. A quick step for big security.
All right, proactive makes sense. But is it really that much hassle? Like, what if I forget about it or something?
Fair question on the hassle factor. Setting it up takes maybe 10 minutes per bureau, and you get a PIN to manage it. For rare risks, well, identity theft hits about 1 in 15 Americans each year, so it's not as rare as it seems. Freezing stops the unauthorized part by requiring your explicit OK for access. It boosts your security without costing money or credit score points. Picture it like wearing a seatbelt. You don't plan to crash, but it's there just in case. My niece froze hers after college when she started her first job. Said it felt empowering, like taking control. Does that shift how you see the risks?
Yeah, the stats surprise me. Not as rare as I thought. So it enhances security by preventing that unauthorized use, even from big breaches.
Spot on. It's empowering because you're not helpless against those invisible threats. But yeah, some folks worry it's overkill for something that might never happen. Tell me, what part still feels like too much trouble?
I guess the idea of it being a hassle if risks are still kind of low. But okay, it stops fraud by blocking access. Got it. What if thieves try to get around it somehow?
That's where it gets interesting. Let's explore if they really can.
Okay, yeah, let's dive in. If my credit's frozen, how exactly does that stop identity thieves from using my info? Like, what if they have all my details already?
Great. Let's break it down step by step. When you freeze your credit, the bureaus require a special PIN or password that only you have to unlock access to your report. Without that, no lender can pull up your credit history to approve a new loan, credit card, or even something like a utility account in your name. It's like having a secret code on your diary. Someone might steal the book, but they can't read what's inside without it. This halts new credit approvals right there, stopping thieves before they can do real damage.
So the PIN is key, but what if a thief guesses it or something? Does it really block everything?
Now, the PIN is generated securely when you set up the freeze, and it's not something easy to guess. Think a long string of numbers you keep safe. Even if they try, the system alerts you or the bureau about access attempts, so you get a heads up. For instance, my neighbor got a notification once when someone fishy tried to check her report. Turned out to be a scam attempt, and the freeze stopped it cold. It doesn't just block, it adds that extra layer of awareness. But yeah, you're spot on. It's all about preventing those new accounts from popping up.
Alerts sound helpful, but hold on. What about my old accounts? Couldn't thieves still mess with those, like charging stuff on an existing card?
It's a common worry, and it's valid. Freezing doesn't touch your existing accounts at all. Thieves could potentially use a stolen card number for purchases, but that's why you still need to watch your statements and report fraud quickly. The freeze specifically targets new credit lines, which is where a lot of identity theft damage happens, like fake loans that ruin your score. Imagine a crook trying to build a whole new house of cards in your name. The freeze knocks down the foundation before they start. It's not a magic shield for everything, but it covers the big risks.
Gotcha. So it's focused on new stuff. That makes sense for blocking the worst of it. Do these alerts come right away, like a text or email?
Yep. Depending on the bureau, you can set up alerts via email or app notifications, and they're pretty quick, often within minutes of an attempt. This way, if someone's probing, you know and can act fast, maybe even report it to the authorities. Halting approvals is the core, though. Without your report, lenders just say no to any application. Remember that story about the guy who found out about fake accounts months later? A freeze would have sent up red flags immediately. It empowers you to stay one step ahead.
Wow, red flags early. That could save a ton of trouble. So it requires my PIN every time someone wants access?
Exactly. Every single time for new credit checks. It stops thieves by making your report invisible to them, no matter what info they've stolen. But some folks wonder if it's foolproof against really sneaky types. What do you think might slip through?
Maybe if they impersonate me to get the PIN, but yeah, it seems solid for blocking new approvals.
Impersonation's tough because bureaus verify identity strictly for PIN requests, like needing your social or other proofs. Still, it's not invincible, but it drastically cuts the risks. The alerts help catch any weirdness too. Overall, it's a powerful tool that turns potential disasters into minor blips.
All right, I feel better about how it works, but what happens when I actually want to use my credit for something legit?
Oh, that's the beauty of it. You're not stuck at all. Unfreezing is straightforward when you need to. Basically, you just contact the credit bureaus again using that PIN they gave you when you set up the freeze. You can do it online, by phone, or even through their apps. And it usually takes effect within an hour or so. Think of it like unlocking your bike to ride it. You pop the lock off, use it, and can lock it back up later. For example, if you're applying for a car loan, you'd unfreeze temporarily just for that lender.
Temporarily? So I don't have to unfreeze everything forever? That sounds less scary. But how do I actually do it? Is there a bunch of paperwork or waiting around?
Nope. Minimal hassle. No paperwork mess. You log into your account at Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion, enter your PIN, and choose to lift the freeze. You can make it temporary, say for a few days, or even specify the exact lender who needs access. It's quick. I've done it myself in under 5 minutes online. Remember my friend who froze his after a sketchy online purchase? He needed to rent an apartment, so he thawed it for 24 hours, got approved, and refroze it right after. Piece of cake, really.
5 minutes? Okay, that's not bad. But what if I'm in a rush, like trying to sign up for something on the spot? Does it really happen that fast?
Yeah, for online or phone requests, it's often instant or within the hour. Federal law requires them to lift it promptly. If you're at a store or dealership, you might call the bureau right there and get a confirmation number to share. It's designed to be user-friendly, so it doesn't block your life. But sure, if you forget your PIN, you'd need to request a new one, which might take a day or two with identity verification. Ever lost your house key and had to get a spare? Similar vibe, but way less drama here.
Got it. So temporary lifts are key for quick stuff. And I have to do this for each bureau separately, right? That seems a bit annoying if I froze all three.
Spot on. You manage each one individually, just like when you froze them. But since it's online, you can handle all three in one sitting, maybe 15 minutes total. The process is the same. Provide your PIN, Select the lift option, and boom, your report's accessible again. This flexibility means you control when and how long it's open. My cousin keeps hers frozen, but lifts it every couple years for big things like refinancing her house. Says it's empowering, not a chore. Does that ease the worry about it being complicated?
Yeah, way less complicated than I imagined. Temporary options make it flexible. But what if I want to unfreeze for something small, like a new cell phone plan? Same deal?
Absolutely the same. Contact with your PIN, lift temporarily, and the provider can check your credit without issues. It's all about that quick online process. No need for slow mail or anything outdated. Some bureaus even let you schedule the lift in advance, like setting a timer. Imagine you're planning a trip and know you'll need a rental car. You thought ahead, handle the application, and refreeze. Keeps things smooth. It's not slow at all unless you make it that way by forgetting steps.
Scheduling ahead. That's cool. So it's not this big, drawn-out thing. I guess I was picturing waiting weeks or something.
Totally understandable. Lots of folks think that at first, but nope, the quick process is a game changer. Equifax and the others have streamlined it with secure portals. You can even use two-factor authentication for extra safety when logging in. And if you lose your PIN, they guide you through recovery with questions only you know, like your first pet's name. It's built for real life, not to trap you. Tell me, does this make unfreezing feel more doable now?
For sure, it's way simpler than I thought. No more stress about being locked out forever. But if I keep it frozen most of the time, are there any downsides I should watch out for?
Absolutely. Let's weigh those out honestly. Keeping your credit frozen long-term has some real upsides and a few potential pitfalls, but it's all about balancing them for your situation. The biggest pro is that strong theft protection. It acts like a constant guard dog, keeping identity thieves from opening new accounts in your name, even years down the line. And get this, it's completely free. No fees to set up or maintain, which makes it accessible for anyone. On the con side, yeah, there could be inconvenience, like if you forget your PIN and need to recover it, or face a short delay when applying for something unexpected, such as a sudden job requiring a background check with credit pull.
Free is awesome, and the protection sounds solid, but forgetting the PIN, that could be a nightmare if I'm in a hurry. How often does that happen, and what's the fix?
It doesn't happen super often if you store it safely, like in a password manager or a secure note. But if it does, the fix is straightforward. You contact the bureau, answer security questions to verify it's you, and they issue a new PIN, usually within a day. Think of it like losing your debit card PIN. Annoying, but banks reset it quickly with ID checks. The pro here outweighs it for many. That no-cost shield means peace of mind without dipping into your wallet. My uncle's kept his frozen for 5 years now. Says the security feels like wearing invisible armor, especially after seeing friends deal with fraud cleanup.
Invisible armor, huh? I like that. So the delays, are they really that bad for applications? Like if I want a new credit card out of the blue?
Not usually bad at all. Most lifts happen in under an hour online. So for planned applications, it's seamless. The potential inconvenience kicks in for spur-of-the-moment stuff, where you might need to pause and unfreeze first, adding maybe 15 minutes. But compare that to the con of not freezing. Thieves could rack up thousands in your name, tanking your score for years. Pros include how it empowers you. No impact on your existing credit use, and it's reversible anytime. Ever had a fire extinguisher in your kitchen? You hope you never need it, but it's there without getting in the way. Same with a long-term freeze.
Yeah, the fire extinguisher thing clicks. So pros like strong, free protection against theft, and cons mostly around forgetting stuff or minor delays. Does it affect things like job applications or renting?
Spot on summary. Those are the main trade-offs. For jobs or rentals, some do check credit, so you just lift the freeze temporarily beforehand, no big deal. The strong protection shines long-term because identity theft can linger. A freeze prevents new hits, even if old info is out there. No cost means it's low risk to try. and many folks find the inconvenience overhyped once they get used to it. My sister forgot her pen once during a house hunt, but recovered it same day and closed the deal. Turned into a funny story, not a disaster.
Funny story instead of a mess. That's reassuring. I guess the pros really do make it worth considering for the long haul, especially with zero cost.
Exactly. And weighing it personally helps. If you're not applying for credit often, the pros dominate with that robust security blanket. Potential delays are manageable with a bit of planning, like keeping your pen handy. Overall, it's a tool that puts you in control, minimizing risks without major lifestyle changes. Remember that teen I know who froze after a small scam attempt? She's kept it on for 2 years, no regrets, and feels way more secure starting out in the world.
No regrets sounds good. The control part is huge. Strong protection without costs and inconveniences I can handle with planning. Whew. I think I've got a solid grasp on this now.